In this video, I want to talk about a potential relocation of the Chiefs versus Bucs game this week, Pat McAfee reacting to Chris Jones getting flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct, the sideline spat between Patrick Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy, a kicker getting cut, and much freaking more. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, and I do daily news about the Kansas City Chiefs. So if you're new, make sure to sub, hit that like button, all that good stuff. And let's get into this video. First off, we had pressers yesterday after the game from Coach Reid, Justin Reid, Carlos Dunlap, and Patrick Mahomes. And then Coach Reid spoke to the media today. Now, I'm recording this fairly late on Monday evening, so some of you may see this on Tuesday. So no, when I say yesterday or today, yesterday is Sunday, today is Monday, but I'm recording late, so it is what it is. Now, Coach Reid spoke on a variety of things, basically the same old deal when the Chiefs lose. He puts the blame on himself, said he could have put the team in better situations. And honestly, most of these players are owning up to their own part of the loss, saying, yeah, I could have done better here or there. Chris Jones in the locker room was asked about the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and this is what he had to say.
I was frustrated that I got called. Don't think I said anything horrendous, but the official called it, and I can't take it back. So I got to do a better job playing the game and not saying anything. Obviously, I thought we was having a conversation with one another, but never know what the official's seen. It sucks, man, because I blame myself for that. It was third down. We got off the field. Defense fought hard. And I kind of put us in a situation to get back on the field, and then we got scored on, and that sums up the game. So I take that one. It was my fault. It was definitely my fault.
He's such a troll, dude. He said, I thought we were just having a conversation. Well, not really. He fell over. You laid on him. You whispered in his ear. He stood up. You kept going, right? And then the ref throws the flag. Whether or not we agree that the flag was justified, you got to not do that. You got to just go to the sideline. The game was over. But as we talked about in yesterday's video, there was way more on the loss than just Chris Jones. I would give that a very small reason for the loss, but that was the final nail in the coffin for sure. Now, Pat McAfee today on his show talked about this penalty that Chris Jones got against Matt Ryan, and you guys got to hear some of this.
Abusive language was used. And I'll tell you what, thank God it was called, because could you imagine if this NFL continues to have abusive language in it?
Thank God it was called. Could you imagine if these guys were cussing at each other almost every play anyway? Because it already happens.
That ref was standing right in between them, and he saw stern, cold Chris Jones look right at Matt Ryan's incredibly professional and handsome face and say abusive things to him. Yeah. And we can't have that in the NFL.
No, you cannot. Do not talk to people that the refs do not want you to talk to. Now, if you're Tom Brady, other people, you can talk to whoever you want. It's fine. But be careful if you're not the NFL's chosen. Be very careful. Now, to be clear, I'm not blaming the loss on this penalty again. To clarify, because people are going to be like, why are you worried about the refs? That's not really the point of this segment. It's just, we have a diehard Colts fan, Pat McAfee, weighing in on this, and he's not a fan.
Especially, on third down when you're getting off the field in a lead, in a game that's been a dogfight. You're getting the ball back right now, can literally go to 4-minute offense, which is what everybody thinks is potentially going to take place. And instead, go ahead and pop that flag up, cuz. Say what you got to say, but not to Matt Ryan, pal. Yeah. This is the softest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Matt didn't seem upset by it.
This is the softest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, says Colts fan Pat McAfee.
Yeah, what did he
say? Drive was over. Punt team was on the field. Punt team on the field.
Yeah, not only was the punt team heading on the field, but if you look from this angle, I'll throw it up. Matt Ryan is smiling. Chris Jones wasn't saying that much, y'all, from what I understand. Now, we might find out later and find out, wow, he should not have said that about Matt Ryan's mom. I mean, I don't know what he said, but Matt Ryan was just smiling.
As somebody that is going to try to maintain some sense of credibility, can't have this type of bullshit determining games.
That can't be the reason why. Now, as a Chiefs fan, I obviously agree, but I've already put the blame on many other factors than this penalty, special teams, and we'll get to that. Don't you worry. The offense's inability to convert on third downs. They were 3 for 10 on third downs. Among other things, I think total rushing yards, the Chiefs had 32. Now, you might look at the stats and say, no, they had more than that. Yeah, because Patrick Mahomes was the leading rusher. So remove Patrick Mahomes' scrambles, okay? And they had 32 rushing yards. CEH had 7 rushes for 0 total yards because some of them were for a loss. Pacheco had like 3 for 9. This is all off the top of my head. Jerick McKinnon maybe had like 16 or something like that. It wasn't much. It was like 32 total. So those are the problems, all right? But this is pathetic.
We can't have talk being the reason what game goes one way or the other. This is still football. This is still the NFL, and you still got competitive people. Punt team on the field, Matt Ryan off the field. Can't have it.
Can't have it, says Pat McAfee. Do you guys agree with McAfee himself? We're going to have some Colts fans in here watching. They've been in here lurking, commenting, letting us know that we lost. Thank you for the reminder. I appreciate that. So either way, weigh in whether you're a Chiefs fan or a Colts fan. Colts fans, a lot of them will be like, well, yeah, we liked it because it helped us win the freaking game. Now, it is what it is. That's not the reason for the loss in my eyes. So, yeah. He got flagged. We're moving on. Don't do that, Chris Jones, okay? All right, now, moving on. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have both weighed in on the sideline argument that we saw between Eric Bieniemy and Mahomes right as halftime ended. Basically, Mahomes wanted to run another play, and they said no.
I said he wanted to go for it, obviously. Hail Mary specifically? No, not a Hail Mary, something else that we have in the plan. But I thought it was best not to do it. So he's a competitive kid, and he wants to, take advantage of every opportunity. I thought it was best just to let that ride there. But really, if you heard the words that were said, that wasn't, I don't know how it looked to you guys, but it wasn't a confrontation at all.
I wanted to go try to score. I mean, that's just who I am. We were in a tough situation. I believe it was like 2nd or 3rd and 20 or something like that. And probably the smart decision was to just take it. We had got the ball at a half. Let's just go to halftime. But I'm always gonna be wanting to score. And I mean, I pretty much just said, let me have a chance at it. And then he was just like, let's get back in the locker room and we'll get something going for the next half. And I don't know if that's an altercation, but I mean, that was the end of the conversation. All I said was I'm not gonna turn it over. I'll get it out, try to get to the sideline and get us a chance to kick a field goal. But I mean, it's a tough situation. I mean, I'm on the field. I'm playing. I want to always try to go score. That's who I am. But that's their job, is to make sure they manage the game the right way. And we had multiple chances to win after that. We just got to be better in the second half.
So, yeah, apparently, Coach Reid said no. Said, Eric Bieniemy, you tell Patrick Mahomes I said no. And, of course, EB was caught in the crosshairs. Now, you can think what you want about Eric Bieniemy. I know a lot of people don't want to see him around. Some people vouch for him, say he's a great coach. I have no freaking idea. I would think if it was really that bad as the offseason reports, said that they were, Eric Bieniemy would not be here, okay? Now, you could say, well, they didn't want to appear to be racist, so they kept him. I don't know about any of that. That's all speculation. I will say this. They all seem to get along. Now, whether that's true or not sure. Have they gotten into heated arguments? Oh, yeah, they have. Does EB have a very blunt coaching style? Oh, yeah, he does. We've talked about it many times on this channel. You can look at previous videos. That's not a surprise. Is Patrick Mahomes a competitive prick? Words of EB. Yeah, he is. Coach Reid even weighs in on it in a nicer way in his presser today.
Listen, Patrick, and this is what makes him great, is he wants to rip your heart out on every play and every opportunity he gets.
Patrick Mahomes wants to win, and he wants to win a lot. So, sure, they argue, it happens, but it's fine, okay? It's not that big of a deal, and Eric Bieniemy's not going anywhere, in my opinion, at least until the end of the season. From there, who knows? Will Matt Nagy step up to OC? Possibly. Andy Reid's not retiring, more than likely, in my opinion, so we'll have to see how that shakes out, but don't read too much into the Patrick Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy thing. Next up, Matt Ammendola, the kicker who missed a PAT, missed a three-pointer, and was more than likely the reason why the Chiefs went for that atrocious fake field goal on a 4th and 10 in which Tommy Townsend, who is right-handed, scrambles to his left and is trying to throw the ball to Noah Gray, who's tight end 3 or 4. Depending on how you look at it with Blake Bell. I mean, Blake Bell's out, so he's definitely tight end 3 right now, but if Blake Bell was in there, he's probably tight end 4. Anyway, horrible play call, but that has to do with their lack of trust in Matt Ammendola. And Coach Reid was asked about Matt Ammendola today, basically saying, What's going to happen to this man?
Butker is not ready to kick on Sunday in Tampa. Will you have a different kicker other than Ammendola on Sunday night?
I can't tell you that right now. Brett's mulling through all that and working through it right now.
So Coach Reed's basically saying, I don't know. Brett Veach is handling it, and handling it he did. Field Yates today tweeted this out. The Chiefs have released kicker Matt Ammendola from the practice squad. He struggled in Sunday's loss to the Colts. Struggle he did indeed. You can't just pin a loss on one person, I get it, but 7 points off the board because of Ammendola. The fake was because they didn't trust him to make it in. He missed 3 points. Then he missed a PAT. 7 points. Now, Sky Moore has a blame in that. The offense has a blame in that. And Chris Jones has a blame in that. So multiple things at work here in this embarrassing loss to the Colts, but it was time for him to go. Now, what does that mean? I'm not sure. I read somewhere on Twitter they didn't have more tryouts, or from what was understood, no more tryouts would be had. So my guess is Harrison Butker's going to be back, and Justin Reid is going to be doing the kickoffs. Now, I could be wrong. They could bring in somebody else, or Harrison Butker could very well be good to go in the game, but they were still saying he's dealing with swelling in that ankle, all the way down to his toes. So I would imagine if he's good to kick field goals, they're going to need somebody else to kick the kickoffs, and that would probably be Justin Reid. So yeah, an interesting development indeed. Be sure I will keep you up to date on what happens from there. Now, the last thing I want to touch on, Chiefs versus Bucs. I believe it's Sunday Night Football. There's an issue going on, though. Listen to this. Adam Schefter tweeted this out today. With Hurricane Ian looming, the Buccaneers are evacuating Tampa on Tuesday afternoon and will spend the week practicing at the Dolphins training facility. The NFL will continue to monitor whether the Bucs and Chiefs can play in Tampa on Sunday night. Jeff Darlington on Twitter said this: if the Bucs are unable to host the Chiefs on Sunday due to the impact of Hurricane Ian, the NFL is unlikely to use Miami as the new game site, even though Dolphins aren't using the stadium per league sources. The Bucs would instead be on the move again in the instance that the Tampa Bay area faces devastating impact, which would be the reason for moving the game. The NFL does not want to risk using state resources to host a game in Miami when they could instead be assisting in Tampa Bay per sources. As a result, if the game is moved, it is likely the Bucs and Chiefs would play at a neutral site in the Midwest, such as Minneapolis. The Vikings play in London on Sunday. Those plans remain fluid given the unknown path of the storm. So very interesting. I mean, I don't know if the NFL watches this channel. Probably not. Let's just be honest. I'm still small time here, but how about Kansas City, Missouri? How does that sound for a stadium change? Yeah, they would never do that. That would completely remove home field advantage away from the Bucs. So they're trying neutral in theory to not completely give the edge of home field advantage to the Chiefs. So we'll definitely have to see. Very interesting indeed, having a event like a hurricane, a natural disaster like a hurricane affecting the game. We'll have to see where they end up. Definitely let me know your thoughts on all of this. The move of the game, where would you want to see it? What were your thoughts on Pat McAfee and his take on the Chris Jones flag? Do you agree, disagree? Let me know on all of that. What about the halftime argument between Patrick Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy? Let me know your thoughts on all of this per usual in the comments down below. And let's throw haymakers down there per usual. Make sure to like, sub, all that good stuff. You know the deal. Then check out this video here, which was me. No, it wasn't me. It was a referee breaking down the egregious call on Chris Jones and why they're a bunch of hypocrites. It's satire. Don't read too much into it. But until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?